Medicaid buy-in program was passed by the legislature last year and funded. It assumed that we were going to be able to implement it by, I believe, September 1st. Due to technology issues, we're not going to be able to implement that program on September 1st. It may be January 1st. The savings here we reflected was just the natural delay being caused by not getting all the systems done. If we can get everything done and we implement it in September, we'll implement it in September. So it's not a delay we're causing, it's because just getting all the rules passed through the both federal rules, coordinating federal rules, and our technology changes, it caused a couple of months slippage in our implementation date. So we're just cashing in the slippage, not stopping the program.
Right, and that's, I want clarification because this is a specific program to help families with children with disabilities, correct?
Correct, and this is one of the programs I think Chairman Raymond was referring to, make sure clear legislative intent to implement it, so there's nothing we're doing to delay it other than what's happening because of some logistical issues.
What are those logistical issues?
Part of it is identifying all the program requirements, submitting state plan amendments, making sure that we have all the programming done in our computer to be able to do the payments and do the eligibility determinations. And it's a very complex program because it's more complex than just adding a group of people. There's, I believe, some co-insurance and there's some deductibles and payments that have to be programmed. But I've asked the staff only to reflect the savings that was a natural slippage. But if we cannot have the slippage, that's what we prefer. So it's a very needed program, and clearly one the legislature put a priority on passing and funding.
Right. And I still don't have an understanding, though, of what these technology implications are.
Well, it starts at the federal level where there is not another state that has a Family Opportunity Act program like the one that was designed for Texas. So we did not have guidance. And it's been an iterative process with the federal government because they're very concerned about the level of co-pays and co-insurance. So we've been working with them. We couldn't actually program the eligibility determination system, which is an automated system, until we had those answers to those questions. And so that's almost in the final state, and then it will go in the next, what we call a build in the TIERS eligibility system as soon as all the questions are answered.
And that was my next question, which is this involves the Texas Integrated Eligibility Redesign System. From its inception, has that program run as it was intended to?
Well, I can't say how it was designed in inception. No, there's been issues, but TIERS is not the per se reason why it's delayed. It's getting all the program requirements. TIERS will get programmed and wasn't just programmed. But the basic your question around TIERS, no, but we believe we've got all the issues associated with TIERS. Software is working. As a matter of fact, it's working in another state very well. And we're taking those and tweaking it, and we think we'll have the tweaks sufficient enough that we'll be working with the Eligibility Oversight Committee and later on this week and look at a schedule to re-roll out TIERS.
Right, we're trying to implement what another state has already done successfully with the TIERS program, correct?
Right.
But as of today, we haven't been able to do that.
We've got 22% of our caseload in it, or roughly 22% of the caseload statewide and through the TIERS eligibility system.
Right, but the timeline hasn't been where we wanted it to be, though, correct?
No, absolutely. I think the legislature put a rider in the appropriation bill directing me to implement it by, I think, August of 2011. And I believe we're not going to make that. We might make December of 2011.
Okay, my next question is this, because in the statement here it says, as soon as technically feasible, and I want to go back to the issues that we had with TIERS, which was, it was thought that TIERS would get fixed by a certain time, and it still hasn't worked the way we wanted it to work, and I guess that's my question here with respect to the Medicaid buy-in program. I would like for it not to be delayed in its rollout because of, the problems that we're having with a certain program that has hurt some of the other programs to keep people that are eligible from receiving the services that they're entitled to receive.
I think we debated how to word the issue because we didn't want to say we're delaying it because we don't want people to interpret that it's our delay. And we say technically feasible, it has to do with all these other logistics. making sure that our federal partner has approved and agreed with everything that we've done. And the copay is a very complex issue because they have overall limits when you get into Medicaid and what you can maximize copay and balance out the expectations of the legislation with it. So the technical, again, issue is not so much tiers related, but we can't program the eligibility system until we have all these policies resolved. And I think we believe we're there at having those resolved.
I understand what you're telling me, but I just want to make sure that I'm clear.
The clear intent is to do it as fast as we can. I think that's what you want to have done as the legislation directed.
I agree, but as I see it, there's two issues. One is to get specific details on how this program will be rolled out with the approval of the federal government to make sure that it meets all their federal requirements. That's one issue. The second issue is to have the computer technology or software that actually implements those approved programs in a way that allows people that are eligible to actually receive those services, as I see it. Those are the two issues. So the question or the concern that I've got is to make sure that once you have your approval, that you will actually be able to implement that into a computer program that will allow the people to receive the services that they are eligible to receive. And based on what I'm reading here and what you're telling us, is that you believe that that will be done, and as soon as that it is done, either in receiving the approval and implementing the program or both, that you can do that no later than January 1, 2011. And I want to get on the record whether or not that is in fact what you're telling the committee and the members of the legislature on this date, that the Medicaid program, buy-in program, will be feasible, but no later than January 1, 2011.
It'll be implemented no later than January 2011. My hope and desire is for it to be done earlier if we possibly can.
You understand what you're saying, Commissioner?
Absolutely.
Okay. So come January 1, 2011.
It'll be running out there if I'm out there processing the applications myself. Yeah, federal approvals will be.